Imagine waking up one morning and every single piece of ice on Earth is gone. Antarctica, the Arctic, every glacier, every frozen mountain, all of it melted. Sounds like a distant worry? Scientists say if this happened, the world as we know it would cease to exist, and the results would be far more devastating than anything Hollywood has ever shown you. Part 1. Sea levels would rise 65 meters. Here's the first terrifying fact. Earth contains about 30 million cubic kilometers of ice. If all of it melted, global sea levels would rise by approximately 65 meters. That's a 20-story building, completely underwater. London? Gone. New York? Underwater. Mumbai, Karachi, Shanghai, Tokyo, all swallowed by the ocean. Entire countries like Bangladesh and the Netherlands would simply disappear from the map forever. Over 1 billion people would lose their homes overnight. Part 2. New continents would appear. But here's something nobody talks about. While coastlines disappear, new land would actually emerge. Antarctica, currently buried under 2 kilometers of ice, would slowly reveal an entirely new continent underneath. A landmass the size of Australia, never seen by human eyes. Scientists have already mapped it using radar. Mountains, valleys, lakes, all hidden beneath the ice for millions of years. A brand new world revealed. Part 3. Fresh water would disappear. Here is something most people never consider. Right now, 70% of Earth's fresh drinking water is locked inside glaciers and ice caps. If all that ice melted into the ocean, it mixes with salt water and becomes undrinkable forever. Billions of people who depend on glacier meltwater for drinking and farming would have nothing. Rivers fed by glaciers would dry up completely. The Indus, Ganges, Yellow River, all gone. Pakistan, India, China, facing the worst water crisis in human history. Wars over drinking water would become inevitable. Part 4. Weather would become catastrophic. Ice doesn't just sit there looking pretty, it reflects sunlight back into space, keeping Earth cool. Without ice, Earth would absorb dramatically more heat. Temperatures would skyrocket globally. Category 6 hurricanes, more powerful than anything ever recorded, would become routine. The Amazon rainforest would dry out completely and turn into a vast savanna. Droughts would devastate regions that were once fertile farmland. Billions would face starvation. Part 5. The ocean current would stop. The ocean has a massive current system called the thermohaline circulation, a global conveyor belt moving warm and cold water around the entire planet. Melting ice would flood oceans with fresh water, completely disrupting this system. The conveyor belt would slow down or stop entirely. Europe, which relies on warm ocean currents, would paradoxically get dramatically colder, even as the rest of the world burns. Weather patterns that have existed for millions of years, completely and permanently rewritten. Part 6. Animals would face mass extinction. And the animals? Complete catastrophe. Polar bears, penguins, Arctic foxes, their entire habitat gone overnight. But it goes far deeper than that. Coral reefs, which support 25% of all ocean life, cannot survive in warmer waters. They would bleach and die within decades. Thousands of fish species that depend on coral, extinct. The entire ocean food chain would collapse from the bottom up. On land, hundreds of species that depend on cold climates, seasonal patterns, and glacier-fed rivers, all gone. Scientists estimate we could lose over half of all species on Earth. Part 7. Human civilization would collapse. And here's the darkest reality of all. Humans have built civilization in very specific places, near coastlines, near rivers, near fertile land. With 65 meters of sea level rise, every major port city gone. Global trade collapsed. Food supply chains broken. No fresh water, no stable weather, uninhabitable temperatures across entire continents. The remaining habitable land would be flooded with billions of refugees. Governments would fall, wars would follow. Civilization as we know it would not survive. Part 8. It has happened before. And here's the most chilling part of all. This isn't just a hypothetical. Earth has been ice-free before, approximately 50 million years ago during the Eocene period. Back then, sea levels were 70 meters higher. Crocodiles lived in the Arctic. There were no polar ice caps at all. Earth survived, but the civilization and species that exist today did not exist back then. Nature would recover. Humans almost certainly would not. The terrifying truth: we don't need all the ice to melt for catastrophe to begin. Scientists warn that just a 3-meter rise, possible within this century, would already displace hundreds of millions. The ice is melting, right now, quietly, slowly, and the clock is already ticking. So the real question isn't what if all ice melted. The real question is, are we already too late? Subscribe to ObscuraFacts, because the truth is always stranger than fiction.